Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are continuing to follow breaking news after a deadly shooting involving 3 victims at the Islamic Center of San Diego. That is where the first crime scene took place, but that is only one of the 3 crime scenes.
Okay, we've just gotten the news conference complete from the chief of police. Let's go through what he told us. As you can see on your screen, we've got 3 different crime scenes here that police had to track down. So let's go through this with you. The call came in around 11:45 today. The chief says within 4 minutes, officers arrived at the Islamic Center that's just south of Balboa Park, just to the west of the 805. When the police got there, they saw 3 dead adults. 3 victims out front. There's a school just to the right of the Islamic Center. So, of course, they are immediately deploy into an active shooter situation. Within that time frame of them just getting to the scene, there's another call just south of the Islamic Center. Shots fired at a landscaper. That landscaper is not hit, but Stoughton police make their way there. A few minutes later, they get word that there's a car in the middle of the street. You see suspects found dead. 2 men, we'll call them, 17 and 19 years old. Police found them in the car in the middle of the street with self-inflicted gunshot wounds. They are dead.
And that was on Hatton. And so Chief Wall, when he was talking in the press conference, he said the circumstances, the details linking these 3 scenes all together will be out, and they will tell us more in the coming days as they continue to piece all of the information together. Right now, we still don't know a lot of things, but what we do know, and the most important information we can give you, is that all the children who were currently in school at the Islamic Center are okay. All of the teachers also made it out safely. So that is the best news we can give you as the community and as parents ourselves. That is a sigh of relief right now, but we still have a lot of information we don't know. We don't know if the suspects actually made it into the building, why they would shoot at a landscaper, where they were headed, if this was always the plan. We do know this all came to an end on Hatton as the 2 had self-inflicted gunshot wounds.
Okay, this is our view from the Chopper 8 is over the scene right now. Balboa Avenue has been closed for several hours now, and this is, of course, entering into a busy business district, but the street's still closed. And our chopper was right over the Reunification Center. So right now, parents that were with Al Rashad School, that's part of the Islamic Center, they're waiting to be reunited with their children who were all evacuated, all safe. And then right across the street from the Islamic Center was another charter school, the Chabad School. Those families also waiting in that Reunification Center. This looks like news crews and, of course, neighbors are out talking. Now, finally, we've been asking about the shelter in place that was ordered for the immediate neighborhood. And when you see the 3 crime scenes, you can understand why the police did not want people going outside.
And the thing here is the public's confused and obviously has a lot of empathy around that. But if you're not watching the news and watching minute by minute, you may be just pulling up at your house as you would on a Monday, and you won't be able to get through your street. So please have empathy. Please understand this is a horrific situation and it's blocks long. So your street may be blocked off. We haven't gotten all of that information yet, but as you can see here, this is all that's been going on. This is the timeline. So they're asking you to avoid Balboa Avenue, and that is right on both sides of the 805 freeway. We've got north and southbound ramps on the 805 blocked off, the off ramps. So just avoid that area. If you need to try to get on your street, Clairemont Mesa, we believe, is open. That is just north of Balboa Avenue, but Hatton, Serrano, most likely closed right now, as well as they continue to investigate those other 2 crime scenes.
The public has been advised to shelter in place. The shelter in place has been lifted, but they're asking you to avoid the area. Don't go there. And you would be wise to stay away because there are lots of streets, as Stephanie just said, closed. And as we look above, so the Islamic Center is kind of in the top half of your screen. You can see the big white building with the dome. There to the right of it, that is the Al Rashad School, the school where we saw officers stringing out out students, holding their hand, taking them to safety, getting them out. Again, we don't know, did the shooters ever make it into the school? Did they ever try to get into the school? We don't know that. We only know that the 3 adults were killed, found dead outside of the Islamic Center. And then, of course, they made their way south when police ended up finding them several blocks away dead.
And they did confirm that this is being investigated as a hate crime, but who were the targets? Were the children the targets? Were some of the faculty inside the Islamic Center the targets of this heinous crime? It's just awful to think about this. You know, Anna, you think about our ages and when we were growing up as children, these were kindergartners, first, second, third graders, very, very young children. We both have young children, and it breaks your heart. You know, when we were growing up, we had tornado drills, hurricane active drills, things like that. We did not have active shooter drills. So to watch children hold hands and know what to do when there's an active shooter, it just is so upsetting to watch any video, especially live. And then you watch these parents, and again, we do want to say that all of the kids are okay, but every single time we hear about this, not only in our community, but across the country, and you see these parents and the looks on their faces, and your heart just breaks. It breaks our hearts to have to give you this information, but we want to keep everybody and the most amount of people as safe as possible, and we are giving you this information once it's confirmed by us, minute by minute, once we get it from authorities and it's confirmed by them.
And again, all the children, all the teachers at the Islamic school, at the Al Rashad school, they are safe. They were evacuated. So we've got at least 5 people are dead. That's 3 victims, 3 adults out in front of the Islamic Center. And then the 2 suspected shooters, they were also found dead, the police chief says, from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Okay, so let's try to ascertain what's happening here. This is above the Reunification Center. As where Chopper 8, you can see people running up and hugging each other. Of course, any community, and especially within a religious, spiritual community, I grew up a Southern Baptist pastor's daughter, so your church community is your family, very tight. And so this is the Reunification Center. This is where people are walking up and seeing their children, seeing the members of their church community, their school community. And so I'm sure a lot of hugs, we know frayed nerves, a lot high anxiety here. And I do feel like I'm seeing some children walking around. I see some backpacks. Those look familiar.
As we mentioned earlier, there was a nearby charter school who was not involved. It's not one of the scenes. There were no active shooters there at all, but as sort of a ripple effect, because you never know when it stops. You know, is it 2 people here shooting at people? Were they involved in a pack? Right now, there's no continued threat to the public. That is what the chief, Scott Wall, confirmed. However, parents, they don't know, you know, they don't, and we feel for them. So as a precaution, the charter school close by the Islamic Center also let their children out early, and the reunification area is in the same spot on Hathaway Street. So that's 4125 Hathaway. That's where our Steve Price is reporting live. We also have Tori Apodaca. They've pushed her back in the hours since this has happened, as well as other media, to secure the area. A lot of the police presence has left the scene since they have neutralized this situation. This is well over an hour ago. Tori Apodaca is still there trying to speak with people who may have heard anything, but we also have Shannon Handy on scene, and she is waiting for the next press conference to happen within the next hour or so.
All right, let's take a look here, guys. San Diego community. Here's our little kids that had to be evacuated from their schools today because of an active shooter. Again, there were 2 schools that they've had to evacuate because the Islamic Center school and then the charter school across the street that did not have an active shooter at the charter school across the street, but out of an abundance of caution, they've gotten these children safe and secure. There's their parents waiting to be reunited with them. Again, there's dozens of kids standing there that have had to be pulled out of school for this. I do want to tell you, it's 2:41. If you're having to get ready to leave the house and you want to keep this information, keep it going, you can keep streaming on CBS 8. You can download the CBS 8 app on your phone. Before I got on the air, Netta and Eric were out here in the studio, and I was watching the whole thing right from my phone. I knew exactly what was going on. So you can keep doing that. Go to CBS 8. Get it on from the App Store. It's free. Or if you are headed somewhere into your house, you can, if you've got a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, you can download the CBS 8 app on your TV and watch it. We're going to keep streaming all afternoon. You can watch it for free. And right now here we've got these little children. I cannot imagine my 7-year-old having to, can you imagine how scary this is?
I mean, it just breaks your heart. These sweet kids, and they're about 3 feet tall in these oversized backpacks. It's just the most adorable, innocent thing to look at these, and the bubblegum pinks on the little girls and the baby blues on the boys, and they're probably confused. You don't know how much the school's telling them. But I mentioned this earlier, and I do want to reassure parents. A lot of times when we have shooting incidents involving a school, especially with young children, they provide counselors the next day for anyone who may need some help. And of course, reach out to any experts that you have in your family or someone you use. But from experts we've heard from in the past, whenever there's an incident like this and we get experts on, therapists, psychologists, child psychologists, they all say something similar, and they say, have an age-appropriate conversation with your children. Reassure them if they're shaken up, even though every child is accounted for and was not injured in this at all, they still may be very, very shaken. Reassure them, keep their routines the same, let them know they're home and safe, have a sense of normalcy, and if they want to ask questions, have an honest conversation with them, but do censor it for age appropriateness.
So you have to imagine, I'm going to take you back to Steve Price spoke with a man who lives near the Islamic Center. He talked to him a few minutes after all of this happened. He told him that he was at his house around noon, and he heard about a dozen shots from what he thought was a semi-automatic weapon. Then there was a pause, then another dozen shots, then another pause, then more shots. He thought he heard about 30 shots or so. So that was from a man who lived down the street from the Islamic Center. If that was the case, imagine what these kids also in the building next door to the Islamic Center heard.
Excellent point.
And so it looks like they've brought the parents now closer. So any minute now they're going to let these kids go. Not sure what the kids were. Maybe they were with the charter school that was already outside because they did not have a shooter on their campus. And so this looks like this may be from the Al Rashid School. This Islamic Center has been in San Diego for 4 decades, 40 years. It's the largest mosque in San Diego County. According to its website, they have 5,000 members. That's a lot of people connected to this school and this Islamic Center.
And daily prayers there. They have huge events on Fridays, so it's a very active center. We want to go back to our Shannon Handy, who is live with some more information. Shannon, have you learned anything else?
No, not since the last time we checked. You guys, of course, we had the news conference live on our air, but if anyone missed that, I just want to recap what we've been reporting on. That news conference included Chief Scott Wall, Mayor Todd Gloria, as well as someone from the FBI. They were very solemn as they spoke for obvious reasons. We actually also heard from who I believe to be the leader of the mosque. It was somewhat hard to hear him at the microphone, but essentially what we've been reporting is that this call came in as an active shooting at the mosque. 11:45, police arrived within 4 minutes, and as police arrived, they did see that there were 3 adult men dead in front of the mosque. They were outside the mosque, not inside. We do know one of those men is a security guard. We're hearing he was a beloved, very well-known security guard. The other 2, they're not saying who they are yet because we're told they are checking with their families first before they release that information. So as officers were there, they get another call of a second shooting, a landscaper just a few blocks away said he was shot at, not shot, but shot at. And then a few blocks from there, they got a third call of another shooting, and that's where they found who they believe to be the teenage suspects dead from self-inflicted gunshot wounds inside of a car, ages 17 and 19. Chief Scott Wall said this is being investigated as a hate crime. It's a hate crime until it's not a hate crime. We are seeing lots of members of the community show up. I'm seeing some members right now actually drop off snacks for people because there are people that are awaiting word on their families or some friends that are associated with the mosque. You can see this woman right here. She has a box of some fruit snacks that she's passing out. There are people speaking to the officers here where the yellow police tape is. No one is allowed in at the moment for obvious reasons. This is an active investigation, but we know the public is awaiting a lot more information regarding actually what led up to this shooting. Did they just try to infiltrate the mosque, and was there an exchange of gunfire with the security guard? We're still awaiting all of that information, and in fact there will be another news conference here at the park just adjacent to the mosque. That's where I'm at. There will be another news conference around 4 or 4:15, and of course we will be live for that.
All right, Shannon, thank you so much.